Hello, good evening. I remain Shobayo Modupe Johnson, the CEO of November's Farms. Welcome to my channel. This is a channel where we talk about snail farming and nothing more. It's basically agric oriented, and that's because we know that agriculture is the way to go now in the Nigeria, in Africa, and the world at large, and that's because we are having food shortage. So we are committed to food sustenance. That's at November's Farms and as well as Shobayo Mudupe Snares. Yeah, tonight we'll be talking about some jargons, some terminologies, or some technical words, or some languages that we use in snake farming. Okay, so I want us to understand some of the terms that we use in snake farming, and this because I'll be using more of those words in the coming sessions, in the coming training, in the coming lecture that I'll be doling out very soon. So I think it's be right for me to, educate some of us, especially the newbies, in this field, some of the prospective snake farmer, and some of the new farmers, new snake farmer that are just venturing into this business or into this farming. So let them know some of the terms that we use so that in the course of my future video, once I mention some of those jargons, you'll be able to relate with them easily. So that's why I felt tonight I should be making this video so that I'll mention some of those terms that readily comes to my mind. Then as time goes on, maybe once I remember one or once I mention one in the course of my video or the course of the teaching, I should be able to explain what they really mean. But before I proceed, I really want to thank all of you viewers, my fans, my followers, my fellow snake farmers that have been encouraging me, that have been challenging me, that have been praying for me, that have been patronizing me. I really want to say a big thank you to you. Most especially Mr. Akinola. You called me tonight and we were on the phone for over an hour. According to you, you started following me about 2 weeks ago, and then I really want to thank you for those encouragement, for the feedback that I got from you. I'm not taking all those work for no, I'm not taking them for granted. I'm not taking them lightly. I really want to commend you. I want to thank you. We had a very good and robust conversation tonight, and then those conversations were just so encouraging. You so much encourage me, you so much challenge me, and then you are spurring me to do more. Yes, I really want to thank you. I'm here for people like you. I love people that will challenge me. I love people that will encourage me to do more, and I love people that give me such feedback. I love people that are passionate, about snake farming. I could see the passion at which you spoke. It's as if you've been to snake farming forever. Thank you, sir, and I believe that future will be so bright for you. And then I believe that this partnership that we are venturing into, too, by God's grace, will yield much fruit. Thank you so much, and I really want to thank as many people that have given me one way feedback, in one way or the other. Thank you for the feedback. The area at which you want us to improve. Thank you, and the area at which you are commending us, giving us a pat, at the back. Thank you, and I'm assured that by God's grace, we will not fail you because we are aspiring and we are willing, to impact life, and then we are willing to do that which we know, and then we are still willing to learn too because we keep learning every day. We keep learning. So thank you. Now back to the business of today. I often see or snail farmer, even myself, we often use the word snailery, snail farming interchangeably. For instance, I can tell somebody that I'm into snailery, and sometimes I can tell somebody that I'm into snail farming. Excuse me. Those two words means two different things entirely, but we often use them interchangeably. I tell you that I'm into snail farming, it means I'm into the practice of snails. I'm taking care of snails either commercially or for personal consumption or whatsoever. So the fact that I'm practicing snail itself as snail farming, breeding, fattening, and taking care of snails. So that's what snail farming is all about. But tonight I want to, the first on my list is snailery. Let's examine what snailery is all about. What is the meaning of snailery? According to the research that I made, there's a dictionary that I got this definition from. I actually got it on the internet, though a dictionary. It says that a snailery is a place where edible snails are bred and fattened for market. Snailery is a place where edible snails are bred and fattened for market. Okay, so with this definition, it shows that a snailery is a place, is a house. Okay, so if I tell you I'm into snailery, am I telling you that I'm into building of snail house? Okay, of course, there are some people that will do that. It means somebody can tell me he's into snailery. That is, I'm into building or construction of snail houses, snail housing, snail pen, snail trenches, snail this, snail that. So, but I, Modupe Johnson, I'm not just into snailery, I'm into snail farming. Okay, I'm into snail farming. So it's two different things, even though we use them interchangeably. I'm into snailery is different from I'm into snail farming. So it means a snailery could be now said to be a housing where edible snails are bred and fattened for market, even though they use the word for market, but of course it could be for personal consumption. So a snailery is a place where snails are bred and fattened for market or for consumption. Okay, so if you see me tomorrow and I tell you I'm into snailery, okay, it means I'm into construction or building or of course construction of a place where you can keep your snails. Okay, then if I tell you I'm into snail farming, it means I'm into the entirety of practice of keeping snails, caring for snails, either for commercial purpose or for edible purpose. Okay, so there are two different things. There are two different things. You can be into snailery and yet you don't practice snails. Okay, of course I can mention some names or some trade, that people that they don't practice what they engage in, or that vocation that they don't eat from it, or they don't participate in such. For instance, now a bricklayer can be a bricklayer that build house, yet he has not built for himself. Okay, so you can be into practice of snailery, yet you don't practice snail farming just because you are a professional. A carpenter, okay, for instance, now I have a carpenter that I use for those that want to construct trench. Okay, he doesn't practice snail farming, but he's a professional carpenter, and of course he has been working for me for a long time. So I can tell you that he's a professional when it comes to snailery, when it comes to building or construction of snail house. So such a man can say to be into snailery but not to snail farming. I hope that is clear. Thank you. Now the next on my list here is hermaphrodite. Hermaphrodite. When we train people or when we talk about snails, there's no how you talk about snails and you not mention the word hermaphrodite. And this is because snails are hermaphrodite. What does that mean? It means that a snail, okay, let me go by definition. Okay, according to dictionary, Webster for that matter, it says that hermaphrodite is a person or an animal having both male and female sex organ or other sexual characteristics either abnormal or as a natural condition. Okay, so it means that a human being can be an hermaphrodite. A human being, of course, we've heard, we can mention some names, some popular names. It means a human, as a man, I can have both male and female organ still in the same body. Of course, that could be said to be an abnormal, and that's why this definition is having it either abnormal or as a normal condition. But in snails, it's a normal condition in snails. But when you see a human being that is having both male and female organ, that's an abnormal case. It's a rare case. Okay, so an hermaphrodite is a person or an animal that is having both male and female sex organ or other sexual characteristics, either abnormal or normal. So a snail, when you see a snail is an hermaphrodite. And what does that mean? It means when a snail has both male and female sex organ in it. So this means that when two snails comes together, when you have this is a snail A, this is a snail B, when they come together and they mate, okay, it means the male organ of this one goes out to the female of this one, while the male of this one goes out to the inside the female of this one. Okay, I don't know if you are getting that. So they come together when they mate. Okay, they fertilize each other. When two snails comes together and they mate, they both fertilize each other. And once they are done, they separate, they go their different ways. Okay, this one goes out to lay eggs, this one goes out to lay eggs. That's why we often tell people that snail farming is profitable. Okay, that's one of the characteristics of snails. It means when you have 20 snails, the 20 snails will all lay eggs for you. Okay, that's just what it simply implies. That's if the living condition is right for them to mate in the first place. So if the living condition is the atmosphere is conducive enough for them, when the two snails come together to mate, okay, it means this one will go and lay eggs for you, this one will go and lay eggs for you. Okay, and then by so doing, your farm, the offspring, once the egg hatch and the hatchling comes out and you cater for them well enough, it means you are having high volume of snares. That's a profit. It will be profitable to you. It will be increase in number. Okay, and that's one of the characteristics of snares because they are hermaphrodites. So each snail possesses both male and female organ. Okay, they possess both male and female sex organ. That's the meaning of hermaphrodite. Is a common English, but it's something that we often use in snail. In fact, there's no how you talk about snail farming and you don't talk about this word hermaphrodite, because snails are hermaphrodite. That's one of the characteristics. Okay, so snails are hermaphrodite because they possess both male and female organ. Okay, so that is that. Now let's talk about Nuptia. Nuptia or Nuptia. Okay, there's no how you talk about snails, especially in the wild. Even in confinement, there's no how you talk about snails without mentioning the word Nuptia or Nuptia. Nuptial, Nuptia, or you call it Nuptia. So what does this mean? It means they are active at night. Snails are naturally active at night. In the wild, that's why when you see snail hunters or those that go to hand pick snails, in the wild, they often go at night. You can't see anyone that want to pick snails in the wild going in the afternoon. No, because snails love cool place. Then in the night, it's usually cool in the night, so that's when they come out. Our own night is like their own day. Even all these our local hunter, when they go to the bush to hunt for animals, they usually go in the night when they want to really have big catch. That's because in animal world, most often they are active at night. So snails are active at night. Of course, for some of us that are into snake farming now, we know that snake can be active even during the day. If the condition is right, you can condition your snails to be active during the day. You can condition your snails to eat during the day. But in the wild, the way in the natural settings, the way God created them, snails are active at night. They come out in the night to eat. They move about in the night, but in confinement you can condition your snails not only to be active at night but to be active anytime. Okay, so we've mentioned that. Now, estivation. Estivation, that's Aestivation. Estivation, or you can use another word for that as in hibernation. Snails, snails hibernate just the same way our computer or your laptop can hibernate. When you can decide to put your laptop at the state of rest, yet it's not totally switched off. Same thing to snails. Hibernation is a prolonged dormancy of an insect, fish, or amphibian during a hot or dry season. Okay, it's a long dormancy, prolonged dormancy, of an insect, a fish, amphibian during hot and dry season. In the wild, you usually find out that snake could be hibernated. They can ostivate, and mostly during the dry season. Okay, sometimes we even use the word that snails have traveled. And how do you know that snail is hibernating? When you hold your snails, eh, and you see some whitish substance, on it. It has covered itself with that whitish, substance. Wherein you now use your finger or you use your, an object to remove that covering. That is when that snail is in a state of hibernation or ostivation. But to us snail farmer, is not the best. In fact, as a matter of fact, if I should get to your farm and I find out that your snails is covering up with that whitish substance, it means you are not doing well. Because when a snail is in that state, that such snail will not eat, it won't grow, it won't drink water. That's why I say in the wild it is possible for us to find such. But in a snail farm, it's not ideal to find such. If I should find such on your farm, it means you are not doing well. That's why we always tell you to condition your snails so that you make your snails to be active. Okay, so in this video we've spoken about four things. We've spoken about four things. We spoke about snailery, the definition of snailery. We spoke about definition of hermaphrodite. We spoke about the definition of nuptia. Then we talk about the definition of ostivation or hibernation. So I believe this video should be able to educate you to some extent, and then I really welcome any comments, questions on this video, as I hope that this video will be able to impart you in the practice of snake farming. Please, if this video or if my channel has really been a blessing to you, if it has been a little bit educative to you, please kindly endeavor to comment, okay, like, share and subscribe to this channel, because I know this channel is here to help us. This channel is here to educate us. This channel is here to open our eyes to snake farming. And just as I always say it, you are free to ask me any questions at all when it comes to snake farming. Okay, because our model is to, or our vision is to make snake farming practicable for all. Okay, low income earners, average income earners, and all classes. So we are not bringing snake farming in such a way that until you have millions before you can go to snake farming. So from the stable of November's farm, I'm wishing you all the best. Thank you. Bye for now.